Greetings. My name is Paul Valdez, and I'd like to welcome you to the Forge Ambassador Information Session. I'm joined today by Linnea Anderson, and we're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves real quick and let you know a little bit more about who we are. So as I mentioned, my name is Paul Valdez. I am the program manager for Forge at UA. Most recently, I was at Bowling Green State University in our Center for Public Impact, and spent a lot of time working with students on experiential learning, specifically service learning programs and courses. But I'm excited to be at the University of Arizona now and working with Forge to develop entrepreneurial mindsets for students as well as faculty and community members. So Linnea, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Melania Anderson, and I am a junior in the Eller College of Management. I'm currently an MIS and business economics major, and I've been with Forge for a year. I work as a marketing and communications coordinator for the Forge at UA side, which means that I do some back-end stuff with website development and creation of graphics, but I also plan innovation challenges and do official communication with founders, students, and faculty, as well as sit in on just general meetings, whether that is team pitches or meetings with founders. Through this experience, I've learned a lot of hard skills, but also great communication skills that I'll be able to use in the future. I've also been inspired by founders to further my innovation skills and entrepreneurial thinking. This innovation and entrepreneurial thinking, I think, will be extremely important for me in the future. As I've seen with a lot of internship interviews I've done, companies really look for that, and they really appreciate you having some experience with that. And it also helped me in the Eller case competition, where my team was able to be innovative and stand out in a crowd, and through that win the competition.
Great, thank you very much, Linnea. And Linnea is going to tell us a little bit more about Arizona Forge and what we represent.
Yeah, so Forge stands for Finding Opportunities and Resources to Grow Entrepreneurs. And we have three main programs. So the first one is Forge at UA, which purpose is to inspire and cultivate entrepreneurial thinking, mostly in students. And we do this through innovation challenges, but also through programs like the Ambassador program that you're applying to right now. We also have the Forge at Roy Place, which purpose is to advance the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And we do this through AEPs, which is Advanced Entrepreneurial Programs, which is for earlier stage startups to develop more and work together to really further their startup. And then the last place is Forge Ahead, where we have the resident program that more advanced startups become part of, where the purpose is to drive and scale up acceleration.
Great. And all these things together, I mean, we want students, faculty, or staff, or community members to be involved in these different pillars of the Forge experience. And we're going to go a little bit more in depth into Forge at UA and Forge at Roy Place, just so you have more sense of what those are and how they kind of connect to the ambassador role. So as Linnea had mentioned, Forge at UA is really about, developing an entrepreneurial mindset. And so what we're trying to focus on here is, this collection of skills that you can gain. And if you can develop competencies in these skills like critical thinking, comfort with risk, flexibility and adaptability, communication and collaboration, like that set of skills makes you, have an entrepreneurial mindset. And no matter whether you are designing a new startup or you're taking an idea from the very beginning and implementing that idea, maybe the idea is to create a new nonprofit organization, or when you graduate from the University of Arizona and you have your first job, these types of skills are going to be incredibly valuable to you as an individual and as an employee, and employers will really be excited that you have developed this set of skills, as Linnea had mentioned about her interview with internships. In terms of like how we help you develop these entrepreneurial skills, we do that through a variety of different programs and services that we offer. So Linnea's talked a little bit about sponsored innovation challenges, and these basically help you find a team, and we provide you with a topic, or we provide you with a theme that was developed by a sponsor. So it's a real problem, it's a real need that this sponsor has, and then you develop an idea and you pitch that idea to the sponsor, and there are prizes involved, so monetary prizes involved for the teams that are selected by the sponsor as the winners. So it gives you a really great start in terms of the ideation phase of like the startup process, but it also gives you the opportunity to work with other people and really be able to build out a good team where different people have different skill sets, and so you get that experience working and developing a team. With Venturing 101 mini courses, this is still in development for us, but what we hope for this to be is it's a set of courses that you can gain some more knowledge about the business aspect of developing a startup, right? So what does it take in order to really understand your customer? What does it mean to be able to tap into a particular market or map out what your potential market might be for your idea? So this will give you some of the basic information that you would need, and then also some direct mentoring with some of our esteemed mentors that are connected to Forge. The Advanced Entrepreneur Program takes it a little bit further because once you've had an idea or you're already in the process of developing your startup, the Advanced Entrepreneur Program allows you the opportunity to connect directly with mentors, receive feedback directly from mentors about where you're at, and really kind of personalize the feedback to you and to your venture and your team so that you can continue on that path to launching your venture. Forge at UA will also include Forge ambassadors, and so we really need people to be able to share the word and spread the news across campus that one, Forge, since we're a newer unit on campus, that we exist and that we are here to serve all students across campus. And so we need ambassadors to really be able to help us generate that visibility and get people excited about the different programs and activities that we facilitate. And then we mentioned the Harville Building 137 and 147. That will be our home on campus. And so this will be a physical space that's located in a pretty central place on campus that students, faculty, staff can drop in and learn more about Forge, but then also Forge ambassadors. That will also be a place where you'll be able to facilitate connections, facilitate conversations with other people about Forge, and also implement programming in that space.
Yeah, so next I'm going to tell you a little bit about Forge at Roy Place, and specifically the Roy Place building. The building was renovated during 2019 and officially opened in 2020. Unfortunately, this grand opening coincided exactly with the pandemic, which meant that we were never able to truly open it to the public, but we're hoping to have some more events there in the fall when it's safe. So the building has a lot of things. It's a very big space. It has a scale-up accelerator where the startups that take part in the residential program can have an office space where they can actually have their set desks and meeting rooms and such that they might not be able to have otherwise. We also have experimental education and corporate innovation. And we're planning on opening a media lab. That's our newest project. And also in the building, we have a space for Startup Tucson where they have their office space too. So all this kind of ties together. But most importantly to you guys, we have the community and education space with classrooms and big open rooms where everyone can really collaborate, and we can have founders and students and Forge faculty work together in a common space.
Great. And Roy Place is a great place where faculty, students, staff, and community will all be able to kind of come together in one location. And so we expect that Forge ambassadors will be down at Roy Place on a frequent basis, whether that's working directly with some of our founders or participating in some of the events and activities that take place there. So it's a great opportunity for you to meet other people besides other students, but those other faculty members, community members, and staff members that are utilizing that space. They will be a great resource for you. One of the things we also wanted to mention was in terms of kind of how our services map out in terms of the complexity and the types of goals that we're kind of trying to achieve with each of these different programs. So the sponsored innovation challenges, you get a lot of focus on ideation and customer discovery, as well as the coaching and mentoring at the very beginning of the process. So you don't necessarily have to have a venture idea in mind, but we're trying to help you understand the startup process and understand the ideation process. With Venturing 101 mini courses, we move a little bit more into business modeling, but you can still see that we're focused more on customer discovery as well. And customer discovery is really, does your idea actually meet the needs of the customer? Is there a market for your idea? Will somebody buy your product, or will somebody take advantage of your idea? So that's what we mean by customer discovery. For the Advanced Entrepreneur Program, this kind of takes you a little bit further into business modeling. You still probably might spend some time on customer discovery as well, but it's really focused in on more of the business modeling and getting feedback from mentors specifically about that, and some investment preparation. It's not heavy on investment preparation, but it's trying to help you identify what the sources could be for potential investment or competitions that you could apply for, or angel investors that you might be able to seek out. And then Forge Ahead, which is the scale-up accelerator that Linnea mentioned in the previous slide. If you're a resident team, then you're getting a lot more personalized coaching and mentoring, and really getting ready for any kind of pitch to be able to secure further investment for really launching your venture. So we wanted to also talk a little bit about what we're expecting for the Forge ambassador role. So we gave you some background on what Forge is, and as a new unit, what we're trying to accomplish. What we need ambassadors for is we really need help getting more visibility about Forge across campus. And we really want to get the visibility to as many people as possible. We want to have a diverse representation of faculty, students, and staff that know about Forge and that want to participate in our services and activities. And so we're looking to you as ambassadors to really be able to help us generate that visibility. Of course, we want the program to be founded in entrepreneurial experience. And so through your experience, you're going to continue to develop your own personal entrepreneurial mindset by participating as an ambassador. So we want you to gain some of that experience, but we also want you to share that with other students across campus or other individuals across campus. And of course, it's a great opportunity for you as an ambassador to really develop your professional skills, as well as to network for whatever might come next for you after the University of Arizona. So it's not a really complicated role at all, but the inaugural cohort, because we've not had ambassadors before, the inaugural cohort will really help us to develop more programs and more activities that will really help us to build out the role even further. And then in terms of the expectations for the ambassador role, we want you to commit to 2 to 3 hours per week. One of those hours will be consumed by a weekly ambassador meeting. And so that weekly meeting will be an opportunity for us to check in together as a team and talk through what ideas we have and how we're going to implement those ideas and how we're going to delegate that work. There will be a variety of Forge events that take place across campus or virtually over the next year, and we want you to attend and assist at those different events. So some of those events will take place at Roy Place, some of those may take place on campus, but you will be part of the face of Forge to be able to interact with people and share your experience with individuals at those events and programs. And some of it might even be event management as well. We're hoping that you will present to groups and share your knowledge with other groups across campus. So these could be groups that we have identified as potential collaborators or are interested in learning more about Forge. So it could be admissions, it could be student orientation, it could be student organizations, but it could also be groups that you're personally connected with. So we're hoping that you as an ambassador will connect us to other groups across campus that you have social capital with, that you can be able to say, hey, you know, you need to learn about Forge, and let me tell you a little bit more about what we're doing and why you should be involved. Of course, there's fairs and outreach events that take place across campus and in the community on a regular basis. And again, so you will be some of the faces there that will represent Forge and talk a little bit more about our programs and how people can get connected. And then lastly, you know, as I mentioned, we want you to connect us to your networks because, again, we really believe in having a diverse representation of students as ambassadors, but then also as participants of all the different programs and services that we offer. So we don't want our programs and services to be exclusive. We want them to be inclusive. We want everyone to know about them, and we have to, you know, be creative about how we figure out how we tailor our message to different audiences and different groups to help them see the connection of why Forge programs and services would be a benefit to them. And ultimately, we want you to be open to growing your own personal entrepreneurial mindset. So we'll have opportunities to be able to reflect, think about your development over the course of an academic year. And I guess the other expectation that we have is that this is a full year commitment. So it would start in the fall and go until the spring semester. Lastly, I just want to talk a little bit about some of the benefits. This is a volunteer opportunity. We are currently seeking, you know, funding to be able to make this something that might be a paid experience. But at this point, we don't have that funding in place, but that could take place over the course of the next year. But this is a volunteer role at this point. But in terms of your benefits that you're going to receive, you're going to be part of a brand new team that helps to design something from the ground up. So you're going to be part of the first cohort that really helps to set the foundation for what future ambassadors will participate in and will be expecting in terms of their experience. So it's a really unique opportunity to be able to be a part of that from the very beginning. Of course, you're going to be able to gain experience and develop new skills. We're excited to see what those new skills might be, and we're excited to see who our team members are going to be and what different skills you bring to the table. But you know, we're always trying to help students develop new skills as they proceed through their education. One of the things that is really critical, I think, and really unique about working with us and working with Forge is the network of people that you're going to get connected to and the type of mentorship that you're going to receive. And so we have a huge amount of mentors, alumni from the University of Arizona, as well as founders from Tucson and Arizona and around the world that are connected to Forge. And so your opportunity to kind of be in front of those individuals, to talk to those individuals at the various different Forge events and to work with them directly is going to be a huge benefit to you in terms of developing your own personal and professional network. And Linnea on the next slide is going to talk a little bit about who some of those people are, just to kind of give you a sense. And then last but not least, if you're interested in earning a badge, you know, your participation over the next year will earn you a co-curricular badge through Badger.
All right, so over the past year, I've gotten to meet a lot of people through Forge. And as Paul mentioned, we have a lot of mentors and just people from the community that Forge brings opportunity to meet. So I have 3 people here that I wanted to mention. The first one is Ava, who's the CEO of Simba. She was the speaker for our latest AMA, which is a monthly event that the director of Forge, Brian, puts on, where he invites someone from his network to come in and speak. Next, we have Nick Hare, who's the CEO of Hexagon Mining. He's part of Forge's external council, and he's also a person that I got to meet over lunch together with the director Brian, and who's really interested in what Forge is doing right now. And I think we might see some more of him next semester. And lastly, we have Chuck Phillips, who is the CEO of S&T, which is one of Forge's resident team startups. Very cool guy, has a lot of interesting experiences and stories. And he's also someone that you will probably see at the Fortune Workplace building a lot, because that is where they have their office space and where they spend a lot of their time. Anything you'd like to add, Paul?
I guess in terms of these individuals, with Ava Sadeghi, she's a recent alum of the University of Arizona. I think she's maybe about 3 or 4 years out from her experience, and so very close in age to current students. And so when she participated in that Ask Me Everything or Ask Me Anything event, it was just great to hear from a student that had graduated so recently about developing her venture. With Nick, he is actually going to be one of the sponsors of one of our upcoming sponsored innovation challenges. So you might be able to see him in some of the innovation challenge activities. And he has some great ideas for working on sustainability projects. And that's what their need is in terms of the sponsored innovation project. I think the only other thing that I would mention for those of you that are interested in applying for the ambassador role is the application deadline that we have set right now is July 1st. So you have plenty of time to be able to submit an application. Our hope is that we will have you set and ready to go for a fall semester implementation of the ambassador program. And so we'll see what the applications look like, and if it's after July 1st and you are still interested, please let us know, because we would be open to having conversation with you about participating in the program. Since it is our first year, I think we're excited to have anyone join us that is very interested and committed to entrepreneurial thinking and aligns with the goals that we've outlined today. And yeah, I think if you feel like you don't have enough experience, or that you're not interested in necessarily starting a venture, that's okay. We know that students are not always thinking about starting a new company. But again, it goes back to the entrepreneurial mindset, right? If you're dedicated to developing skills in entrepreneurial thinking, those are things that are going to help you lifelong in your career, in your life in general. And so we really want to focus on you developing those entrepreneurial skills as opposed to specifically developing a startup company. So just keep that in mind as you're thinking about this program, because we need students from all different backgrounds, all different majors, all different experiences to really be able to connect with as many people across campus and get more people involved in Forge programming. Anything else from you, Linnea?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much, Linnea. And if anybody has questions, please feel free to reach out to us. My email address is just paulvaldez@arizona.edu, or you can always email us at info@forge.arizona.edu. Thank you very much. Have a great day.